if you think about for even just any amount of time and look at submission, submission is not weakness. It takes a very strong, very confident, very trusting person to walk in submission. Okay? It takes a very weak person to be walked all over, but that's not what submission is. That's not what God calls us to be. He does not call us to just be walked all over. He calls us to submit, to respond, and to act in humility, to humble ourselves. But we know, if you've ever tried to walk in any kind of submission, to put yourself under, to act in humility, you know that that is a place of strength and not weakness. It is not a place of resignation to just being a doormat. It is a place of walking. You have to walk very confidently. I think of the story in the book of John, where at the Last Supper, as Jesus is gathering with his disciples, the Bible says this. It says that Jesus, on the night he was betrayed, right before he takes bread and he breaks it and he takes a cup and he passes around, it says that Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, knowing that he had come from the Father and that he was going to return to the Father. It says Jesus, knowing all that, in that moment, it says that he took off his outer robe, he wrapped a towel about his waist, and he began to wash his disciples' feet. See, Jesus' act of submission, of putting himself under, of humility, came from a place of him understanding, knowing, confident in who he was, in what God had called him to do, and his ability to walk in that. And so when we're called to submit, when we're called to be humble, that is not a call to weakness, to be walked all over and to be just relegate ourselves to being a doormat. It is a call to have the right attitude in our suffering.